But what I guess what's the future then for you guys? What is I guess the end goal from these singles which you've been dropping? Because I think they've all been lit, and I think people have been reacting to them very well and been giving a lot of positive feedback on them. So what is going to be like taken to the next level from these whole tracks you've been releasing over the past several months?
Yeah, I think like end goal wise for this record, I think like Cal said, it's just kind of giving people that first look into kind of what Say It Again is and where we're at currently. But I think, yeah, I mean, look, we'd love to get back out on the road and start touring as soon as possible, and we're hoping that this record can kind of help with that and lead to that. Um, but yeah, I think Cal and I both agree that it's just kind of to give people a look into kind of what we're about now and not looking too far into the future, but getting people ready for, some of the new stuff after this record that we've got coming as well.
Gotcha.
Yeah, for
So
sure.
basically, what you're doing is you're just teasing us all, aren't you? Really?
That's pretty much it. Well,
Always.
when we started, we came up with the name Say It Again and the idea for this project over 2 years ago now. Um, and it kind of started when our old band came to an end and we had this idea in place, and we've kind of had these 2 years to figure out what it is and discover what it is and really kind of nail all of that down. So to us, it all makes complete sense. We know what the next 2 years of music look like. We know what the whole plan is, and then you kind of realize, oh, for everyone else, it's brand new. So very much like yeah, kind of showing the spectrum of the kind of music that people can expect under this umbrella, and really showing, yeah, like work that we put. It's 2 years of work into however many songs, so it's
Yeah. I mean,
Well,
and
that shows you decoration and and a lot of work behind it. So you've done a lot of you've done a lot and it's showing off now, which is great to see, and I hope that continues upwards for you all.
thanks, man. Yeah,
thanks, man.
it was good. We took in those 2 years, we were doing a lot of writing and production for other artists, and that was pretty much what we spent most of our time doing. Um, and that was really fun, just to kind of get to experience a bit of everything. And we couldn't really then get in our heads about like, oh, what kind of music are we going to make, or
Yeah.
can we have to stay in this one lane, or can we venture out a bit? And we got to do a lot of that experimentation in this year of just writing songs every day, whether they were for us or for other people. And then when we came together to kind of pick the songs that were going to be for Say It Again and what ones we wanted to release, it was like, oh, okay, it works. Like, this is kind of how far we can stretch the sound each way, and this is what we think the sound is. And we kind of got to do all of that experimentation behind closed doors. And once you start releasing, you know what it's like we're never going to get that time again where we can spend 2 years dialing something in. Like, it's all go from now. So it was time well spent, I think.
Yeah, and also going back to what you were saying before about kind of like, some artists taking days, weeks to write songs. Like we used to be that band. We used to be that band that would write a demo, sit on it for a week, realize we hate it for absolutely no reason, and then just start rewriting sections, and then realize we actually preferred the first version, and then just revisiting it a million times. And I think it was like working with so many kind of really, really cool up and coming like pop artists and pop
Mm.
writers and such. Um, it kind of, I don't know, it kind of just taught us to kind of let the song breathe and like do the work itself, if you know what I mean. Instead of just getting so in our heads about it. And I think with that, we just kind of found a little bit more confidence of just being like, you know what, this is great. It's like, I'm trying to think of an example, but it's like Cal will probably know, like producers, for example. There's that whole story of like, you could sit there mixing a song for like 2 years if you really wanted to, trying to get it perfect, but realistically, it's never going to be perfect. Um, and I think that's just kind of a similar approach we've taken with the writing side of things as well as our production side of things, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. I think it's that thing. Who was it who said it? Was it Ed Sheeran had a quote about it, about like if you went into an old house and you turned on a tap that hadn't been turned on in 2 years, 3 years, whatever, there's going to be all this like dirty water comes out and all
Yeah.
stuff that you're not going to want to drink, and you've got to kind of cycle through it. And I think he approaches songwriting like that, where he'll finish every idea, because even if it's not good, eventually it's going to lead to the good one. But if you just leave it unfinished and I think that was that kind of approach. It was like, we've got a day, let's just write a song.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter if it's good or not, because we'll do another one tomorrow, and that might be a better one. And that kind of approach of, okay, we can pick 7 or 8 songs out of 15 or 20, rather than we're only going to write 7 songs and they need to be the 7 songs, you know.
And when you take that pressure off as well of just being like, cool, we've got, 3 days, we need to write and finish 4 songs. That if you take that pressure off, and like Cal was said, you just kind of like start building up a pool of songs, whether they're great or whether they're, not so great. The pressure kind of drops when you're in those sessions because I don't know, you're just not really in the headspace of like, okay, we have to do this by this time within this timeline and deliver it by this date. It's just kind of like, let's just write a song, see what happens. And 9 times out of 10, when you're in that headspace of let's just see what happens, it turns out being usually the best it can be. So yeah, I think just going back to the original point that we're making, it's just like I think that kind of year we had working with other artists taught us a lot and kind of helped kind of reshape how we approach kind of all aspects, I guess, writing and product, like everything that we do with Say It Again.
Yeah.